Welcome to episode 3 of the Connecticut Wedding Channel. This is a place for engaged couples to help narrow down vendors for their special day. My name is Jim Collins, and I'm the owner of Collins Entertainment, located in Newington, Connecticut. Today on the show, I'm having a conversation with Keri Anne Shea. Keri's been a hair and makeup artist for the past 23 years. 12 years ago, she started K Shea and Company. Keri and her team provide on-site hair and makeup for weddings all over New England. They also provide hair and makeup for films, photo shoots, and TV. Every year, Keri gives back a percentage of her earnings to breast cancer awareness, a cause that's very dear to her. Keri, thanks so much for coming on the show.
Thank you so much, Jim, for having me.
You're welcome. So, Keri, I know that a lot of brides are overwhelmed, and especially narrowing down the days to their wedding and trying to find the best fit for them for hair and makeup, because you play such an important role in their day and making it special for them. Just the visuals obviously can be so important. Tell me how you build this connection with the couple, with the brides that you speak with, and assuring them that everything is going to be taken care of on their day.
Yeah, absolutely. The big thing is they typically there's so many amazing websites now out there for brides. There's great reviews. There's so many people in our industry now that are doing it, which is amazing, which means that we've gotten so busy. And, you know, nowadays it's huge for us to be on site. I think the on-site experience is very important because you're in your own element. You're, you know, in your childhood home, you're with all your family, your friends, you're eating, you're drinking, you're listening to wedding music, you're telling stories. You're not crowded in a salon with strangers and being rushed out the door. So it's even a great experience for us because it's so much more pleasant. It really is. The most important thing is a lot of people shop around, as they should. It's very scary now. It's very overwhelming for a bride. There's so many ways you could go. Reviews are important, but, you know, everybody has to go with their personality and what's important to them as well.
Yeah.
I love to do trials. 90% of my brides do trials. Some don't, which is okay too. You know, some people just know what they want and they're okay with it. Trials are important though, because when you come to the trial, you get to meet me, meet our team. You get to be relaxed and knowing that this is how you're going to look the day of. I love it. I'm confident. I feel good. But we also get to go through a list of important things the day of that as a bride you wouldn't know, because hopefully this is your first and only wedding and you haven't done this before. So you're trusting us to make this a nice experience for you and the least amount of stress as possible.
Yeah. So tell me about those ways that you help educate brides about all the different services you offer and things that they wouldn't think of. What are some of those things?
Well, the most important thing for us always is timing. Timing is very, very important.
Okay.
You know, we always show up early. Sometimes people get a little freaked out by that, but we always do, because when we say we're starting at 10, we still have to set up. You know, we have lugging our suitcases in there. We have a lot of equipment. We have to set up. We have to make sure the lighting is good. Mm-hmm. And so we'll show up a little bit early. You don't want us showing up late. That's just not good. The other thing that's important, timing is so important. When we say make sure everybody's there and ready to go with dry hair, it is so important because we move very quickly. We go as fast as we can in the beginning. And then once the bride sits in the chair, she typically goes last. Everything starts to slow down. And then when it slows down, we kind of really focus on her. Then we go back, we do all the touch-ups and the lips, and we make sure she's ready before she's dressed. A lot of times when they say ready by time, they don't realize ready with hair and makeup, not ready in your dress. So they still have to factor in getting dressed. So that's important, and that we go over at the trial.
Right, and I can only imagine, you know, when everything is said and done, and there's that big reveal. I mean, they're seeing the progress being done over time with the hair and makeup, but when it's actually all finished, and they're there, and they're looking in that mirror at themselves, just seeing the reactions on their faces.
Yeah, it's pretty magical.
I'm sure it is.
It really is. It really is. Like, I always tell my brides, you're going to feel like Cinderella. Like, you really are. And the amount of love you're going to have that day is unbelievable.
how'd you become passionate about this, first of all? What led you to this journey?
Oh boy. Well, I started right out of high school. I went to hairdressing school.
Yeah.
I've always been really creative, and I always knew I wanted to be a hairdresser and makeup artist, but I didn't know back then where I was going to end up. So I worked in a salon for 20 years. It was not for me. I started working in the salon. I did hair and makeup for I worked behind a chair for 20 years doing cutting, coloring, all of it.
Mm-hmm.
12 years ago, I had my second son. My boys were only a year apart. And when he was born, he had a lot of issues with his stomach. So when I was at work all the time, my mother would call and I always had to come home, and it was really tough. So I started working from home, and I loved doing weddings. Whenever we had weddings in the salon, I'm the one who would get them. Nobody wanted to do weddings. And so 12 years ago, I thought, is it possible that I can do weddings for a living? And I truly didn't think so at the time, because people at 12 years ago, this was not big. There was maybe a handful of us that traveled and did hair and makeup, because a bride she wants her hairdresser. It's scary to just trust some new random person on your wedding day.
Right.
And then thankfully I worked under a few amazing hair and makeup artists in Connecticut. And with them, I got experience, and I started freelancing a lot more, and it just got bigger and bigger. And I'm so fortunate now that I have a group of people that work with me. So I was fortunate. And I also, I worked hard, and I did a lot of research.
Yeah, it sounds like you did work hard. And
I did.
And the thing about going back to when you started and being the only one to do this type of work for a bride, that no one else wanted to do it, for you to have the courage and personality to be able to handle that says a lot.
Yeah.
A lot, that how much you invested your time in, and that you wanted to make sure it was special, and that you understood the importance of that special moment and the day that they were celebrating.
Yeah, it was always my calling. I knew it. Like, even to this day, still, when I work with brides, I know that I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. I love it. And I can handle any situation. I can walk into any situation, and I still am so comfortable, and I've met some absolutely amazing people, and I get to be a special part of their day.
Yeah.
I've continued relationships where they've showed me their kids after, and it's just amazing.
Well, that's important. I think for anything that you do, just being able to create that connection with couples or brides is huge, and being able to carry that through after their special day. For sure. So that says a lot. Can you talk about a situation that was a challenge and what happened when you handled that?
I think the biggest challenge for us is not typically the bride. The brides we deal with, I've been doing this for 23 years. I'm so fortunate that I work with such nice, easygoing girls. Like, I don't work with I don't deal with that Bridezilla story. I don't have many Bridezilla stories. Mm-hmm. The tough part is the moms. The moms are just, they love their daughter. This is a big day for them. There's a lot of emotions involved in this day for them. A lot of times it's not even about the wedding so much as it is, this is their little girl, and sure, it's hard for them to let go. So there's a lot of times where the bride doesn't want to upset her mother, or she's not doing what she wants to do. She's doing what her mom wants to do. Yeah. And then there's that struggle. Sure. And, it's a fine line for us, because you don't ever want to overstep and be disrespectful. Yeah. But your bride, this is her day, and you want her to love this experience, because planning a wedding, no matter how smoothly it goes, it's stressful. There's a lot of details, mm-hmm, and it's one of the biggest parties and the most expensive parties you're ever going to throw in your life. And this is a moment that you are going to remember forever. So you want it to be this, you put so much into it because it's such a big deal. So you have to stay true to yourself at the same time. And sometimes it's a struggle with the moms to make them understand that.
Yeah, and understanding that dynamic and
Yes.
knowing what to expect with that for sure. Now that you have a team that you work with, how many specialize in weddings and for hair and makeup for weddings?
There's 5 of us. So there's me, Sherry, who is amazing. Sherry does hair and makeup. I do hair and makeup. Rain is amazing makeup artist. Angie, amazing makeup artist who has been with me from day one and has been my best friend for 28 years. And then my sister Kendall, who is a hairdresser, also does some makeup. And she actually just moved and is now in charge of our K Shea and Company in Maryland.
Okay.
So we're so excited about that.
Yeah, that's amazing. So now you have a location in Connecticut. You also have that in Maryland. Are you branching out anywhere else? And is that in the development in the future? Or?
Yes, I'm trying to develop right now down south. We're trying to open up a spot down in West Palm Beach area.
Okay.
I went down to the Breakers not too long ago, and I got to sit with them and talk to them about their weddings. It's unbelievable. And I'm trying really hard to get more work down that way. I love the reasoning being is because obviously we slow down in New England area for the winters, and I just really want to do it 12 months out of the year. So I want to be able to spread ourselves. And me personally, I want to be able to do it everywhere. So I love it. So I don't want to slow down. I want to keep doing it.
Yeah. One of the benefits of that is you have a bride who lives in Maryland and is planning their wedding in Connecticut. So they're planning to come back. So you have set up there for Kendall to handle that in Maryland. So you have the benefits of that, which is awesome.
Yes.
And then I'm sure you're reaching couples too. I don't know. I'm not sure how you communicate with couples from Connecticut, but that are planning their weddings elsewhere. So you don't have.
Oh, yeah. I've worked with people that are coming over from Australia or England. I mean, it's unbelievable. The knot in Wedding Wire are so huge with bringing people from all over the world to us. So, 90% of our communication is through email. So we get people all the time, and, they're under pressure too of, I'm planning this destination wedding and I'm way out here and I need to come and meet you and get this trial, where for our brides in Maryland, it's perfect because my sister's there. She has a spot set up now where she's doing it. And she's amazing. She's been doing this for 24 years. So it's absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
And it definitely helps being in multiple places where if somebody is just, closer that way, it's easier for them to get to her than it is to me. And it's just an awesome thing to have multiple destinations.
Absolutely. So it's more convenient for couples.
Yes,
for sure. So when a bride contacts you and wants to get into some information, what are some common questions that they'll ask you for that first initial conversation?
Yes. Okay. So, I have 8 hair, 8 makeup. Do you have a team that can handle it? Or, up to whatever. We can handle as many people as you need. We've done 30 people.
Mm-hmm.
We'll get asked always timing. Like, I need to be ready by this time. How much time do I need? How many hours do we need you for? Another thing, airbrush. Everybody always wants to know, do you do airbrush? What is the difference between airbrush and traditional? For the longest time, there's so many products out there now. So things are so much better than they used to be. Personally, airbrush is absolutely amazing. It lasts 16 hours. You can sweat, you can cry, nothing streaks, everything's waterproof. You are locked in, and it's crazy. I don't know what's in it, but it works. The other thing, first look. First look's never a problem. Obviously, if you're getting, a lot of people are doing first look now, it's just timing. We just start earlier. We don't, we start as early as you need us to. We go wherever you're getting ready. And one other thing is sometimes things change. Sometimes the location will change. That's not a problem either, as long as we have a heads up and as long as, we're not going like 3 hours in a different direction, we always make it work. One other thing that's huge that I have to say, I just got this again, is in the event something should happen to me, which let's hope it doesn't, what do we do? And God forbid anything should happen to me. I have worked through broken bones. I have worked through a broken hand. The only way I will not show is if I am laying in a hospital bed. But we have a team. We take pictures at the trial. We write everything down that we do. Everybody has it. Everybody has access to it. They know exactly what we did. So you are always, somebody will be there no matter what.
Right. Between airbrush and traditional, which of the two are more popular? I'm assuming airbrush now.
Airbrush. Airbrush is unbelievable. I mean, there's nothing wrong with traditional at all, but airbrush is just, it's so much better. It lasts so much longer. I mean, I personally have had much better experience with the airbrush for weddings. So hair extensions is another thing people ask about. We can do extensions. They have to be clip-in. They have to be real hair because we cannot curl synthetic. And yes, they have to get them themselves. The reason being is because they have to be able to match their hair. I can't go buy the extensions because I may not match your hair properly and you need to have them matched properly. So, but we put them in the day of. It is no extra charge to put them in. And they're perfect. They're great. So we don't have a problem doing that at all.
What advice do you have for brides that are looking for hair and makeup specialists?
You have to remember to go with your gut. You have to go with your gut. You have to do what makes you feel good. It cannot be somebody else's decision for you. When you come, if you meet, the day is all about you. So you have to feel good about it and you can't worry about hurting people's feelings. You have to just love it, feel good with it, and trust the person that you're working with. And you're going to know. You're going to feel it in your gut and it's all going to work out.
Awesome. Well, Keri, thanks so much for coming on the show. It's been a pleasure, and I learned quite a bit about hair and makeup, the things that I would never have even imagined. And for any bride that is looking for a specialist that's going to care about their day and devote their time and assure you to make sure that everything goes as perfect as possible, get in touch with Keri and her team. Once again, Keri, thanks so much for being on the show. And what's the best way that a bride can get in touch with you?
Absolutely. They can email me at keri.shea@hotmail.com. They can go on our website, www.kerishea.com, where my phone number, there's a contact form, anything they need is through there. They can get a hold of us at 860-281-9724. No question is off limits. Ask me anything you need to. I've done it for 23 years. I've seen it all. And Jim, thank you so much for having me on here today. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Oh, it's an honor. So thanks so much. And you also have some reviews, I'm taking it, on Wedding Wire or The Knot?
Yes, I do. I have about 80 reviews on Wedding Wire. We have them on The Knot. I have them everywhere. Thumbtack, you can go wherever you need to. You can see reviews.
Perfect.
Yes.
All right. Have an awesome day. Thanks so much for coming on the show, Keri, and we'll see you guys next time. Thank you.
Thank you so much.